Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Andrew here with Ambient Endeavors, and I want to say a special thank you and welcome to any of the new subscribers that found the channel through the H90 video and checked that out. Had a lot of fun making that video, and it's cool to see some new subscribers coming on through that. So thanks for checking out the channel, and come back often. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now. Check out some of the other videos in my catalog. I hope you like it. And while I really enjoy checking out different effects pedals and things like that in the studio, I love the chance to make videos about and check out new guitars. I think there's something about the tactile, like tangible element of picking up a new guitar, getting to know how the neck feels, the resonance, just the connection to the physical, like to your hands is so tangible. And so today we're going to do that. And we're aiming to answer a couple questions. The first of which is, why are we checking out two Squier Jazzmasters? And I think that's a valid question. On the channel, there's a lot of, I get a lot of gear through here, and a lot of it lives in sort of like a higher echelon of gear with custom guitars and things like that, which is awesome. But I still have an affinity for and kind of nostalgia around Squiers. Like some of you, it was the first electric that I learned on. I had an old Squier Affinity Strat that I just played the snot out of for years in high school. And I think Fender has done a really good job evolving and maturing and improving the Squier line of guitars, and so they're compelling options for a lot of players. So that's kind of why I bought both of these guitars, to check them out and to answer the second question, which might be why some of you clicked on the video. Should I keep hunting a now discontinued J Mascis Jazzmaster, or should I look into one of the newer models like this 40th Anniversary Jazzmaster? So without further ado, let's dive in. Let's look at the specs for each of these guitars. There's a lot of similarities and some specific differences, and then let's hear some sounds from both of them, and then come back and we'll share some thoughts and you can decide. If you've got thoughts throughout the video or questions, or if at the end of it you've got a clear winner, let me know in the comments and we'll chat. So let's run down the specs for both of these Jazzmasters. The most glaring difference that you'll notice right away is the fingerboard. So with the Vintage Edition 40th Anniversary Jazzmaster, you get a maple fingerboard on a maple neck. On my J Mascis, there's an Indian laurel board. On some of the older ones, there's a rosewood. You have a poplar body on the Vintage 40th Anniversary versus the basswood body on the J Mascis. You have a nice satin desert sand finish on the 40th Anniversary versus a vintage white that's glossy on the J Mascis. The nut width on the Vintage Jazzmaster is listed as slightly wider. I didn't really notice it when I was playing, but the spec sheet calls that out. Both of them have 9.5-inch radiuses, 21 frets. On the Vintage 40th Anniversary, you get more vintage, thinner, taller frets. On the J Mascis, you have jumbo frets. And then a couple other hardware differences. On the 40th Anniversary, you get kind of the Mustang style bridge, 6 saddle, versus on the J Mascis, you have this Adjust-O-Matic bridge with the Jazzmaster vibrato system on both. And then on the 40th Anniversary, you get some kind of aged type hardware that kind of looks a little more raw than the shiny glossy on the J Mascis. So that's a quick rundown. Like I said, both pretty similar guitars. You'll hear in the clips some of the nuanced differences in the pickups, but aesthetically and visually very similar guitars outside of the fretboards. So that's enough about that. Let's check out some of the sounds. I'm going to run them down on a rig. It's pretty simple. We're running a Tone Master Princeton Reverb and a UA Ruby in stereo. We've got a Benson Boost on the whole time to just add a little touch of texture, and then some plate reverb. We'll come back and share some thoughts at the end. So there you go. There's the 40th Anniversary Vintage Edition Jazzmaster and the J Mascis Signature Jazzmaster. I've got a bunch of thoughts, but I want to hear what you think. If you've got a clear winner or things you liked or didn't like about each model, let me know in the comments and we can chat about that. So for me, it really comes down to preferences with this comparison. They're both really compelling, great feeling and good sounding guitars. The price points I feel are pretty comparable. The Vintage Edition retails for $5.99. The J Mascis was $4.99 before it was discontinued, so used prices might be a little over the map with that, but pretty comparable in price. And honestly, like I said, pretty preferential as far as which one is better. I personally found myself gravitating towards the Vintage Edition 40th Anniversary. It has, as its name kind of points out, the more vintage sounding pickups. The feel with the narrower frets is kind of more vintage too. I tend to like those versus the jumbo frets. And the pickups just stay a little bit more clear, a little lower output, a little more sparkle, which again, I kind of lean towards. The Mascis has a really comfortable neck. That was the first thing I noticed when I got that guitar a handful of months ago. Sort of a satiny finish on the back, but really smooth and really comfortable. The vintage model has a little bit less satin. It's a little more worn feeling, and the neck feels a touch beefier than the Mascis. They're both listed as C-shaped, but to me the 40th Anniversary felt a little bit chunkier, and it was comfy. I really liked how that felt, and I liked the maple fretboard. So that would probably sway me a little towards the vintage 40th Anniversary edition, but like I said, they're both great options depending on what sound you're going for and what you're trying to do with the guitar. Both of the trem systems were pretty smooth, although some people when they're getting this type of guitar might end up upgrading to a Mastery or Descendant type thing down the road. And yeah, I do prefer the Mustang style bridge on the 40th Anniversary. I think that was a really great option, a really great choice for Fender. And so that's another sort of point for the 40th Anniversary. But yeah, it's a tough call. They're both awesome guitars. I would say for those that are like really bummed that the Mascis got discontinued, the Vintage Edition 40th Anniversary is a pretty compelling option. Pretty similar price point. Aesthetically, it looks very similar. You also can consider the gold model. There's a gold version with a rosewood board and different inlays and binding and things like that. But I think they're both really compelling options, and the 40th Anniversary would make me miss my Mascis a little bit less just because it's a really solid guitar. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Thanks for checking it out. Like I said, let me know in the comments what you think, which you'd pick, what you liked or didn't like about the guitar, and we'll see you back here next time. Take care.